Suso, cojones.
Aquí no ha revisado nada, no ha visto nada de eso. Pero mandó Loli.
Qué bonita.
¿Pero por qué hizo esto? Mira, cositas.
Varios cumpleaños, no hay cositas.
Pues déjeme ver. Ay, qué lindo, déjeme ver el colorcito.
Yo la vi loca por ver las cositas.
Sí. ¿Esta es una cosita? Y esta, mire, esta es una telita. Qué bonita. Muchas gracias. Ay, pero ¿por qué hicieron esto? ¿Qué cosa más grande? Ahora. Pero mire, yo no cumplí 2 años más. Esto es la misma de la misma. Esa fue. Qué lindo. Ay, pero eso está de más bonito. Bueno, muchas gracias.
Los famosos lacitos.
Qué bonitos están. Bueno, tenemos que ver cómo se reparte esto ahora.
Bueno, yo soy el uno, el que sigue yo. ¿Quién es?
Este no es justo. A un cumpleaños anoche y ahora pero este va a quedar rápido. Yo no voy a aumentar otro año.
La preocupación es esa. La preocupación no es el contenido, es el contenido.
Y también queda chocolate. El chocolate.
Ella no le gusta el cake de chocolate, pero bueno, un esfuerzo.
Me encanta. Pero ahora sí, verá que estoy despistada.
¿Sí?
¿Por qué?
Porque yo culpé a ustedes por el otro cake.
Por no estar aquí otro. No.
Y ahora, este fue Estela. Pero como Estela sabe mi cumpleaños. Por eso yo dije que tenía que ser tú. Que eres el único que hablaba. El único que hablaba.
¿Cuándo te dio cumpleaños?
No, yo no te dije, pero déjame pensar, Raúl te lo puede haber dicho.
Hoy se hace un mes que no.
¿Y quién te lo dijo? Ay, me parece que es Ruth por la que tengo prohibida. Ay, pero qué lindo está todo.
What did she say? You're 40 years old today?
She said yes, she said they're 40 years with here with us.
And these are your friends.
Yeah, they're
your
my friends.
birthday.
So I had 2 last night, and now 40 years that I've been here, so. Ay. Qué lindo está eso. ¿Por qué vamos a hacer?
Entonces, ¿qué otro hablamos?
No, pero estaba pensando. ¿A qué hacemos entonces? Porque los tamales, Mari las mandó a hacer para Estela y la gente.
Bueno.
Pero vayan al campito, el campito está que Helen, Estela y su gente lo guardan a ellos. Entonces,
Sí, mejor para ellos.
entonces,
Sí, hay para todos, ¿no?
sí, ese sí hay para todos.
Sí, hay que saber que vengan del río.
¿Están en el río?
No, ahora no lleguen para que tengan más.
Escuchen lo que
Bueno,
dice.
yo creo que se debe, por lo menos. Ay, yo tengo que volver a manejar algo un momentito para buscar un llevarle el dinero para los comienzos. Entonces, pero qué lindo.
Otro regalo, Helen.
¡Upa!
Eso lo voy a hacer, estaba buscando
Es prestado, es un regalo prestado.
¿Se lo pareció?
Ay, qué cosa más grande. Pero, ¿dónde está el perrito? El perrito no tiene perro. El perrito.
Aquí, tía.
Ay, no, el perrito.
Qué cosa más chula, tía. Llegó el Felipe, llegó el Felipe.
Viene para acá, viene para acá.
Qué cosa más grande, Mari.
Parece Carol.
Ay. Bueno, entonces, yo creo que vamos a pagar las luces. A ver lo que podemos hacer de ser naturales. Este cámara me tiene loca. Ay.
Cuando venía por la carretera nos estaban cogiendo.
Sí, señor. Y esperaba que regresamos también. Perro. Bueno, entonces, ¿puedo salir de aquí yo?
Yo la dejo salir.
va a ir detrás de usted.
Bueno, ok, apagado.
Le va a seguir todos los compañeros.
Helen, what would you say your philosophy of life was?
Well, I don't know. I never thought of putting my philosophy of life in words, but I will. Estelle, why don't you let me think of that?
Okay, think of that.
Turn
Okay.
that off.
Okay, para. Okay,
can't
one other thing.
do that.
What about this? Would you say that people in Cuba are more religious today than they were 10 years ago?
That's hard to answer, but I feel that for at least the young people who are religious, I feel they're a better quality of Christians. There's more reality in them. They're not so superficial as they were before.
Why is that?
I feel it's because they've had to fight to be a Christian. If they're a Christian today, it's because they know, because they're really sure of what they believe, and beforehand, they could be a Christian just because they were brought up in the church and it was easy. Today, it's not easy to be a Christian, a real out-and-out Christian.
Why isn't it easy?
Well, I would say because there's many fear that they might lose their job, they might lose their opportunity to study, and that's not true in most cases, because we have many professionals who've been studying under during the Revolution, and they're in our churches. But there are people who feel that, well, if I go to church, then somebody might not like it and where I work, and because sometimes of jealousy or envy, sometimes people use that as an excuse to try to get rid of somebody who's getting along well in their work. And so that's what happens. And so if you're going to be a Christian today, you have to be a real one, not just from your lips out, but you have to feel it in your heart and be willing to, in case you had to suffer, be willing to suffer. And that makes strong Christians. They say that in the 2nd and 3rd centuries, when there were so many martyrs, that the martyrs were the seed of the church, because the blood of the martyrs was the seed of the church, because that really impressed people. And today, to be a real Christian, you have to be sure of what you believe and be willing to suffer if you had to.
Are there more young people joining?
I don't know what to tell you about the whole island, but constantly there are young people coming into the church. I feel there are more young people today, really Christians, becoming church members than there were years ago.
This is specifically your church?
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. There are other churches. I know of several churches in Havana. One is in Villa Rosa. It's one of the repartos in suburbs of Havana. And that church has a large group of young people have just come into the church recently. I know of another, and we had about 8 or 9 of those young people here in earlier weeks of camp from the town of Madruga. And some of them had just come to know the Lord about 2 months ago, and they were really, you just could feel that they were so changed, and they had to be willing to have the opposition of their parents. One boy was almost thrown out of his home. His father was very much against him, and one of those boys, and they kept on in the church, one of those boys, his father went to the church and just got a hold of him and took him out bodily from the meeting in the middle of a service. And so when you find opposition of that type, you have to be real if you're going to stand up under it.
Is this specifically the Protestant church?
I don't know about the Catholic Church, really. I have some good Catholic friends, but I don't know if it's growing as far as young people are concerned. I'm talking about Protestant churches.
Are there many Protestants in Cuba?
Well, we feel there are many. I don't know if that compared with other places in the world, I don't know, but if there are many, but there are many Protestants, many Baptists in Oriente. In the eastern part of Cuba, there are many Baptist members of the Baptist Church. And the work of the Evangelical Association of Cuba, which is connected with World Team in the United States, that they have many members in their church. I can't tell you how many. If I had known I was going to have to answer this question, I would have tried to find out some statistics.
Do you have any relations with the Catholic Church at all here?
Just friends, and once in a while somebody comes to camp from the Catholic Church. But as far as working with them in any type of work, no.
But you would say that there are more young people coming to the church today
than beforehand.
Say the whole sentence. There are more young people.
Yes, I think there are more young people coming into the church today than years ago. When I worked with the young people in Santa Clara, especially in the church there, I was directing the young people's group, and I feel that the young people today are more serious. The experience is much more real than it was beforehand.
What is the attitude of the government toward the church, to your church?
Well, the government has, as far as I know, there's not been any opposition. Anything we've had, of course, there have been times when there have been some restrictions and that sort of thing, but nothing that has harmed the program of the church.
Okay, now let's start in Spanish.
Yeah,
Empezamos en español.
I was going to say something else there, but well.
In English? Yeah.
I was going to try to say something, but the thing, it's so hard, Estela, to answer you well because I haven't had time to think about these questions, and when I was finishing there, something came to my mind that I should have said, and it went away now.
Well, you could say it after, and we could, put it together with the other.
Yeah, if I can remember.
About the young people coming to the church.
It's a battle for me to think in English, and then try to talk in English and try to think what I'm going to say at the same time. It's so difficult. So we're going to go on in Spanish now?
Okay, and if you think of what you wanted to say in English, you tell me, and we'll go back. Okay, start off, me llamo. Tell your story. For somebody in Cuba, this is for Cuba.
In Spanish.
Yes,
okay.
This is for Cuba. This is for Cuban television. It's for somebody who doesn't know anything about...
I'll have to get back on the Spanish track now.
Right.
When are you going to begin to... Tell me when you're going to begin.
Okay, yeah? Yeah.
I'm Helen Black. La hice perder otra vez.
En español.
Sí, pero es que...
Te olvidas el inglés y el español te mezclas mucho.
Entonces llego... Ay, por favor, perdóname, pero comienzo otra vez.
Otra vez, sí, go ahead. Project your voice and speak quickly if you can.
Yo soy Helen Black, and I came to Cuba.
Otra vez, está en inglés.
Estela, yo estoy loca.
No mucho, bueno, de nuevo.
Espérate, déjame hablar un poquito en español contigo.
Sí.
Que la pague
Quiero que tú me cuentes tu vida, cómo tú te llamas.
¿Qué me pasa? Es que sale
de un idioma al otro.
Déjame volver a coger el español.
Sí, vamos a esperar hasta que termine el tren, porque hay un tren pasando.
Vine a Cuba en 1900.